Okay, so this is not a topic I particularly feel comfortable talking about, but I think it needs to be openly discussed, respectfully, and because it's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. A lot of people that are have been treated for cancer and have been diagnosed with cancer and have lost loved ones. And I completely understand that, and I respect that. Uh, it's just because there's been something I've realized today. There was a video earlier on, which I will show, that was posted on that caught my eye on Twitter with a mainstream media outlet saying that Kate had precancerous cells that were discovered and being treated in March, which doesn't go at all with the narrative. And then that kind of made me realize, because time had passed so much for a while, and I remember a friend showing me a blind item about two royal divorces in July 2000, I think it was July 2023. And I think it made me think a lot of people have been saying there's a divorce and separation, and I guess I haven't seen it. I know that the coincidental diagnoses of Kate and Charles together was enough for me to question it, but also, like, it's to trigger them as victims and not for them to be liable for the COVID vaccines. And so that was my understanding. I didn't really think of anything else, but I've really understood. I mean, with this whole, is it Chalmoni, that lady? I forgot. I don't even know her name. The introduction of her, that's been a bit odd, and it's a very kind of Camilla-esque kind of narrative being played out. But there's been, since 2020, the narratives on mainstream media. What I suggest is, if you do your own research and you look at the mainstream media narratives of Kate and William over the last 4 years, and a lot of it has been that they've been overwhelmed with work, which Kate's never really been necessarily a working royal, to a degree of, like, Queen Elizabeth or anyone like that, or I think even Princess Diana as much. Like, I don't see her as a really hardworking royal with lots and lots of events a year. Maybe amounts to around 3 weeks a year, but that would be it. That's my own opinion. But from 2020, that there was an overwhelm of work, and that they had an intense focus, and they were allowed by the Queen to have an intense focus on bringing up their children. And that was seen initially as like, oh, how cute, that, of course, that's just trying to be a normal family, that's trying to be normal parents, healthy healthy upbringings for those children. But then, what's happened, what's progressed from there has been, Kate not living in the Adelaide, I wouldn't call it a house, but mansion or whatever, and living with her parents and things like that just haven't made particular sense if everything's going well. William, I think, not attending a birthday party of one of the children. Really odd stuff. And so I think, without me going too far into that and having to do a really big video on showing you all these different narratives, which I can show you pictures of or give you links to, if you would like, you just comment below and let me know. I can give you links to these articles so you can see for yourself. Without going too much into that, I think I just want to get into the actual narrative of this diagnosis, because there's been, I now know for sure, and I have proof that it is completely untrue. and by the wording of Kate more than anyone else. There's mainstream media that have completely fucked it, but there's the wording of Kate that has also completely fucked it. So let's start. So January the 16th is the first time it's ever announced. You know, people are worried over Kate because she's been missing since December or Christmas. And there was an ambulance, I think, that attended the palace, and there were massive, massive concerns. I won't comment on that. I don't know. But I think, I believe, it's my own opinion, that William and Kate have already separated by then, and she's not really living at the palace. She's living elsewhere, possibly with her children. So I don't think, I don't believe that it was just like all good and then there was an ambulance and something happened to her. I think things were already in the works, and they've been trying to cover those tracks for a long time and trying to blur this narrative. I think at the moment there's now articles of William and Kate's values now diverging because of her reawakening after her cancer treatment, and that she views life differently or views things differently, what she values, like ballet, going to the gym, but not returning to work. That's too hard. And she doesn't want to get cancer from working. That wasn't an article, so don't think this is my own opinion. That wasn't an article. And there's a narrative now that there's a difference in their values and a difference in their outlooks of life. So I think they're trying to smooth this separation a lot better for you, so it's not another Camilla 2.0, which I'm sure at this point it is. So January the 16th is the first time we kind of find out, we have an answer, whether or not, albeit if it's, questionable or not, which it was. It didn't really make sense. Nothing has made sense since these announcements have been published. So Kate, sorry, I'm so used to saying nut. Kate undergoes treatment. She has surgery for her abdomen, whatever. But it was a planned surgery. It's non-cancerous. So the first thing we know is it's non-cancerous. They wanted to reassure everyone of that because of King Charles being diagnosed. So they literally said in an article, Daily Mail said it, that it was non-cancerous after the surgery, and it was a successful surgery. And she was now recovering. Then she went on holiday for, I think, was it 3 weeks? Well, she went on holiday with the family, supposedly. So I want you to just have that there. Yeah, it was understood her surgery was non-cancerous. Okay, January the 29th, she's discharged. But mind you, when she was discharged, I'm sure that was when that news came out that it was non-cancerous. So I think they've kind of tried to change that around. I think that's how I'm recollecting it, that it was all after she was discharged that all this news came out. So them saying non-cancerous after she was discharged. Which, by the way, they would know already by the surgery if it was cancerous, and they removed the cancer. So there you go. Sometime in February, that's not what was said. What? No, this isn't true. So let's go back to her video. Add this little clip.
The Duchess of Cambridge was caught shrugging her hubby off when he attempted to touch her shoulder, but she did keep a TV-ready smile plastered to her face.
I think this was when they started to, the mainstream media started to talk about how every couple has fights. Yeah.
All the wonderful messages of support and for your understanding whilst I've been recovering from surgery. It has been an incredibly tough couple of months for our entire family, but I've had a fantastic medical team who have taken great care of me, for which I'm so grateful.
So I want to point out, she's saying couple of months. So she's talking about since January. This is March 23rd was when her video came out. And so she's talking about since January it's been rough, because that was when the surgery supposedly exposed cancer.
In January, I underwent major abdominal surgery in London, and at the time, it was thought that my condition was non-cancerous. The surgery was successful. However, tests after the operation found cancer had been present. My medical team therefore advised that I should undergo a course of preventative chemotherapy, and I'm now in the early stages of that treatment.
I'm sorry, preventative therapy has nothing to do with actual cancer. You have chemotherapy if you have cancer. Even if you remove cancer from your body and you have chemotherapy, preventative chemotherapy is for precancerous cells.
This, of course, came as a huge shock, and William and I have been doing everything we can to process and manage this privately for the sake of our young family. As you can imagine, this has taken time. It has taken me time to recover from major surgery in order to start my treatment. But most importantly, it has taken us time to explain everything to George, Charlotte, and Louis in a way that's appropriate for them, and to reassure them that I'm going to be okay. As I've said to them, I am well and getting stronger every day by focusing on the things that will help me heal in my mind, body, and spirits. Having William by my side is a great source of comfort and reassurance too, as is the love, support, and kindness that has been shown by so many of you. It means so much to us both. We hope that you'll understand that as a family, we now need some time.
Okay, so we're done with that. So she's talking about January, there being January after she left 13 days, she would have commenced treatment or chemotherapy. Not February. I don't know where that's come from. I don't know if it's untrue. So, but I have looked and said, and it says in the BBC article here that treatment started in late February. So yeah. So around 11 days before that video came out, the initial one that actually talked about cancer for the first time, before that it was non-cancerous, the surgery was successful, and she was recovering from her surgery, which that Photoshop family image, I highly doubt she'd be able to sit like that, and etc for abdominal surgery, which we all know wasn't a true photo anyway. So Radar Online, who broke a lot of news, talks about how William is beside himself over Kate's decision to step away from royal duties, and they're using the fact, so this is a part of this whole cancer thing, they're using this to say, this is even before now, you know, their values have diverged since the cancer treatment. So they're using that now, the treatment, as the reason for their separation. Now, before that, they're using the fact that she got cancer because she was physically, mentally, emotionally exhausted from all the work she was doing. Righto. So, stepping away from her royal duties rocked her marriage. Kate's desperate struggle with the constant pressures of life in the royal fishbowl has clearly taken a terrible toll on her physical and mental health. A senior palace source told the National Enquirer. So it was actually a National Enquirer article. She spent weeks staying out of the public eye after her operations. So she had more than one operation. That's interesting. And it's only strengthened her resolve to quit. She only had one operation. So that's a new one. The future Queen of England has only been spotted twice since entering the posh London clinic. Is that it? Oh. William is stunned his wife could even consider such a move. He made sure she knew what she was getting into when she married him. And she's done a brilliant job. He's concerned she's become emotionally unstable. But she insists she's finally seeing clearly. Wow. Wow. They really think they just own people, don't they? They created the brand image, the identity, so they can just crush it at their whim. Emotionally unstable. At the drop of a hat. The most adored, princess there is, but now she's emotionally unstable, with a senior palace source saying that. Oh, but he's concerned that she's become. So not yet. Close. Could happen. Not that she's... See, this is the thing. This wouldn't be discussed if she had cancer. Right? Emotionally unstable. Yeah. Wouldn't anybody if you were just diagnosed with cancer? This is March the 12th. So she had already started by late February cancer treatment, supposedly. The Princess of Wales' exit from royal duties comes after years of scrutiny and scandal, insiders claim to the National Enquirer. Kate's disillusioned and frustrated by the ongoing drama surrounding her renegade brother-in-law. Oh, yeah. See, this is what they're good for, right? Another well-placed... Yeah. But ironically, they've shown her there's an alternative to being trapped in the firm. Jesus Christ, this is so bad. She knew when she married William her life would change forever, but never in her wildest dreams thought it would be this intense. She does shit. Are you kidding? Like, Princess Anne does work. Wow, okay. Kate had a hard time when she first joined. Yeah, righto. No. Wow. They're actually saying that it was Kate who was racist towards Nut. Oh, Nut. Okay. And who made Nut cry before her wedding and who went out of her way not to be friendly. So this is actually confirming, I've never actually read this full article. This is actually confirming that this is the palace narrative. So what I've told you all this time, and I have had to prove to you, they're confirming that this is what they believe is true, and this is what they've gone ahead to convince you to believe. So that Oprah interview, everyone that was offended and felt sick and upset and felt betrayed and felt angry, and wanting to protect the Queen, this is actually what they're saying is true. Wow. Okay. Or the video and anything about cancer comes out with Kate talking about it. February the 10th, Kate is on the mend and has left Windsor for the first time since her operation after joining Prince William and their 3 children for a half-term holiday on the Sandringham estate. So she's fully recovered. I think, was it late Feb? She starts her preventative chemotherapy for cancer. But the Princess of Wales underwent successful planned abdominal surgery more than 3 weeks ago and is on the mend. As a clear sign of her improvement, she was able to join her husband. For a half-term holiday on the Sandringham estate. It's strange when you can just decide to take your kids out of school and call it a half-term holiday. This is 2024 curriculum for Windsor. Is it no, Westminster, sorry. For Westminster, but there's I'm sure there's a difference, but this is just a general kind of expectation of half terms for school. So 10th of February for half term is not exactly there. 6th of January to 14th of February, so that would have been 4 days if anything, if it was something along those lines. But no, I don't think that's possible. I think the then narrative was that they pulled them out of school, but you wouldn't call it half term, would you? You just call it a break. So off to a half-term holiday. So she was able to join her husband and their 3 children. So they were already going away on holiday, but she was able to join them and participate. So the half-term holiday would seem to be a school holiday that didn't really exist. Catherine is recovering well. She was looking forward to a change of scene and will be able to take it easy. Based on her current medical advice, she is unlikely to return to public duties until after Easter. That was said on January the 17th. So, yeah. I don't think that would have been stated if they hadn't the results of the surgery already. Proved it was not cancer. So let's skip past all these months of supposed treatment of preventative chemotherapy. October the 24th, Daily Mail, Royal Rota, puts up an article, of course, relating a cancer patient to Kate, and they say that she was planning a slow and measured return to work following her own cancer diagnosis in February. So that isn't true because the cancer diagnosis happened in January. So there was no cancer diagnosis in February. She went away on holiday. Anyway, then September the 9th, Kate announces that she's stopped the treatment. So that would be roughly 6 months worth. And she's cleared. They still talk about the cells being precancerous and being treated for precancerous cells. So this account has a really, has a valid point. So
she had specifically what the precancerous cells were related to. They're simply not going to go there. But I think and they've decided that they are not going to tell us what kind of treatment she had specifically, what the precancerous cells were related to. They're simply not going to go there. But I think
this is what's amazing, is how controlled this media is. They're saying it's precancerous, and yet, so there was no cancer, and yet this has been played for so long, and it's so controlled and so scripted. It's fascinating. You would have seen my video screenshot earlier before. This is through a Concerned Citizen account.
An update on the Princess of Wales's health. Kate revealed in September she had completed chemotherapy after the discovery of precancerous cells in March. The Prince was speaking.
So now they're saying that the precancerous cells were discovered precancerous and were only discovered in March. So the January surgery had nothing to do with any precancerous cells, which means non-cancerous. But all of that was discovered in March. So by this point, she had started undergoing chemotherapy. Let's play that again.
Prince William has given an update on the Princess of Wales's health. Kate revealed in September she had completed chemotherapy after the discovery of precancerous cells in March. The Prince was speaking. Prince William.
So 9th of September, she releases the video announcing that she's cancer-free and has completed her treatment. And she tells us all that it's been a really difficult 9 months. 9 months would take us back to the 9th of December 2023. Long before her planned surgery, long before this whole narrative started. So she's debunking the entire narrative for us by stating that the journey to her cancer diagnosis commenced on 9th of December 2023.
As simply loving and being loved. Doing what I can to stay cancer-free is now my focus. Although I have finished chemotherapy, my path to healing and full recovery is long, and I must continue to take each day as it comes. I am, however, looking forward to being back at work and undertaking a few more public engagements in the coming months when I can.
A few more? But you started gym straight after.
Despite all that's gone before, I enter this new phase of recovery with a renewed sense of hope and appreciation of life. William and I are so grateful for the support we've received and have drawn great strength from all those who are helping us at this time. Everyone's kindness, empathy and compassion has been truly humbling.
You know, it's amazing. It's amazing the deception It's amazing. And separation or divorce, I mean, we're a modernized society, so that wouldn't be anything, but they have to protect William at all costs, and this is why this is happening.
To all those who are continuing their own cancer journey, I remain with you, side by side, hand in hand. Out of darkness can come light. So let that light shine bright.
Oh my God, that is sickening. That is absolutely sickening. Let that light shine bright. What a fucking joke. Oh, yeah, okay.
Max, you lead the way. As the summer comes to an end, I cannot tell you what a relief it is to have finally completed my chemotherapy treatment. The last 9 months have been incredibly tough for us as a family.
The last 9 months has been incredibly tough on us as a family. 9 months, September the 9th, 2024. That would be December the 9th, 2023. If you want me to send links to all the articles that shows a pattern of this relationship, even in December 2023, mainstream media saying that William's on the booze and it's putting stresses on the relationship. I mean, there's just so many different angles they've tried. You know, all the workload. Oh, it's so daunting. And then I don't know, they've tried everything. And so then they tried cancer. How very thoughtful of them. After that video came out, I think there was an uproar stating how could she state in the September 9th video that she was cancer-free and that she now is going to focus on staying cancer-free just because chemotherapy has been completed. So then they had one of their media puppets to say she's not, and that it's still a long journey, as everyone else knows. But she does say that she was going to try all her best to stay cancer-free. So that's stating she's cancer-free.
It has been difficult. I mean, it's been well documented. She's explained everything that she's had to go through. And we should also point out that she's not cancer-free.
Which is not true. I don't know where the hell they're saying it's well documented. Preventative chemotherapy is not well documented and it's not discussed. They had doctors then blow the lines through media articles about preventative chemotherapy and cancer. But that's all there's been. So that it has been well documented at all. Because you can't really explain it.
Now, this is just the period of the end of her chemotherapy, but it is not her being cancer-free. Anyone who's had cancer or been close to those who do, no, that's actually quite a long process until, I think that phrase that some people use, ring the bell at the end of your cancer treatment. She's not there.
Now the Princess of Wales has spoken.
It's just such a mockery. And I feel so upset for anyone that's gone through it. So I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that you're I hope this is not triggering. I might put just a trigger warning underneath this video to make sure that everyone's aware.
To stay cancer-free is now my focus.
Chemotherapy in a highly personal video released by Kensington Palace.
Doing what I can to stay cancer-free is now my focus. Although I have finished chemotherapy, my path to healing and full recovery is long, and I must continue to take each day as it comes. Doing what I can to stay cancer-free is now my focus.
And don't forget that March the 10th, this same magazine, National Enquirer, said that Kate was William was concerned for her emotional instability and that she was physically and mentally exhausted from how hard she was working for which now the next day, March the 11th, so 12 days before her first speech about cancer, through senior palace sources. So senior palace sources have stated this to the National Enquirer, that she was in fact having surgery, abdominal surgery for her eating disorder, and that she was getting therapy for her eating disorder. March the 11th, 2024. William's wife, surgery to repair damaged organs. So that was what they were saying. But I'm sure you're going to say, Laura, I don't believe this. But palace sources, senior palace sources. And I've already debunked for you that she's lied and deceived us all regarding when this all started in December 2023. December the 9th, to be exact, if we're to go with the exact timing. In the end, we had cancer diagnosed in January, cancer diagnosed in February, cancer diagnosed in March, and then we had pre-cancer diagnosed in January, February, and March, and then we had the start of surgery that never happened that led to precancerous cells or cancerous cells, whichever narrative you want to go with, being found. That was done in December 2023, which then debunks everything because the surgery was in January. The supposed abdominal surgery, which who knows even if that happened. Yeah, it's just pretty fucked up, isn't it? But a pretty consistent performance nonetheless. Thanks, guys.